Hey guys, John Schumacher here. Just wanted to share a quick video. Something came up in my clinical practice this last week where a patient of mine was asking me about preventing hip arthritis. One of the biggest things with arthritis is stiffness. Joints function best when they have full range of motion, and when you start getting stiffness, the articular surface on the joint can start to wear down. So with the hip, very commonly stiff directions are rotational movements. So those are the stretches we're going to focus on in what I shared with that person last week. So let me show you a couple that I really like. I'm going to lay down on my mat here. So what you're going to do is lay down on your mat at home. And we want to stretch two directions mainly. External rotation of the hip and internal rotation of the hip. So for external rotation of the hip, a common one that we use is the figure 4 stretch, where we're placing the hip to be stretched on the opposite leg, reaching through the space here, and pulling it in tight to feel a good stretch in the buttock and outside of the hip. And I usually have people hold, between 30 and 60 seconds for that. A lot of the times, folks who are worried about hip arthritis are getting a little bit older. As you get older, it's good to stretch a little bit longer. Another good one for external rotation, if you can do it without too much pain in the joint, is the pigeon pose stretch. Tucking the leg under, like so. And again, holding for 30, 60 counts if you can. You should not have any joint pain while you're doing this. If your hip is extremely sharp and painful, do not do the stretches. The other direction, internal rotation. I'll show you one of my favorites is laying on your stomach. I'm going to show you on my right hip here. You put your knees together, and then you let your feet come out to the side, like this. Hold for, not quite as long on this one, maybe 10 counts, and back in. We can hold a little longer, maybe up to 30 is a good hold. Like so. And you should feel a dull stretch in your hips, stretching it into internal rotation. This is the most commonly lost motion in hip arthritis. It's probably the most important one to stretch. One more I'm going to show you is called the hip whip in standing. So I'm going to show you on the left side here. You're going to lift your left leg up. You're going to keep your knee bent at about 90 degrees, and you're just going to literally kick your leg out to the side, back and forth, to help mobilize the joint. You should feel like a dull stretch in the hip here. Again, that's the most important direction, is that internal rotation. So the last two that I showed you are extremely important. You shouldn't have any joint pain. It should just be a dull, achy stretch in there. So thanks guys. We'll see you in another video.